Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle, and if you're new here, today's my garden update tour. And it froze really hard here last night, hard enough that there were ice chunks. I mean, that's pretty good. I'm surprised that anything survived. But since I covered anything that I thought would have a problem, it's not too bad. There are some things that got a bit surprised me, and some things that didn't. This is kind of an interesting scenario. But I covered everything, and I'm gonna take you a tour just to show you how it did. This is probably one of the first times that I've tried covering for more than a day or two, but the reason I did is because the next couple of weeks are nice. And I know I'm in a coat now that blows. It's cold. But it's actually like 40 something degrees, and I just by nature freeze. But I like it, and because I love being all cuddled, dressed up warm in a coat. So anyway, I'll show you my garden tour, and I'll let you in on a little secret. It's okay to cover with black plastic. It doesn't care. And that's actually what I did, because I covered black plastic portions of my garden to keep the weeds down. So I just picked them up, threw them over my stuff, and actually that did a lot better than some of my sheets, which sort of surprised me. So anyway, let's get started and we'll see how bad the damage is. Alright, first we're going to start off with this sad looking thing. It's my okra. I actually covered it with a pillowcase. It's okay, but it definitely is not a happy okra plant. I had a couple that I actually didn't cover. These are the ones I didn't cover. That one looks really bad. I intended to cover it, and this one doesn't look too bad, but I think, because it's standing next to my sunflower here, I think it was covered enough by the sunflower, and here's the other one. So, actually that, not too bad considering I never covered it, but it had, like I said, it had a sunflower to cover it. So, here's my marigolds. I didn't cover them at all. Some tough little flowers. I have to remember that the marigolds are kind of tough. I was going to cover them and then totally forgot about it. This I covered. This is a lot of my fall crops in it. Like I have lettuce and some greens, and then I have some cabbage. And way over there is celery. So that actually, if I hadn't covered it, it probably would have been okay, but it's definitely better that I covered it. But I'm just so happy that I think these are radishes actually. Those are my pumpkins. They got a little bit scorched on one end, but not bad. I'm surprised. I think that was a pumpkin that I missed part of it. I couldn't get everything. I tried, but there's so many things that I couldn't get everything. This is the one that surprised me. These are my sweet potatoes. And I don't know if you remember my tour, but I'll try and link it below. But look, some of it got froze, and some didn't, which is strange because the plastic went all the way down. It shouldn't have gotten it at all. But I don't think it killed it really. It's definitely not very happy that it got this cold. But now I'll have to go ahead and pull the potatoes, but I wasn't ready to do that. My artichokes, the beans, I covered them. And there were 4 days that I covered, and they always blew off, so you can see some of them like got scorched on the top, but at the bottom is fine, and that's more what I was worried about. So all in all, this one got it the worst. It was covered, but it just blows off. I think this one's probably ended up with it too. Yeah, I couldn't keep the sheets on. This section over here, I completely covered with black plastic. So this should be the best looking part. It actually isn't bad. My flowers, my zinnias, I got a little bit frostbit, but not bad. Here's an okra. These are my squash. of squash still doing alright. That's surprising. My peppers, I think I actually broke one off. These are some beans and fennel. And the peppers just a little bit on the top. This is where I found the ice. So it really doesn't surprise me that there's some frost damage here. Because it was pretty severe. And these are our Brussels sprouts anyway. They don't care. This is my other sweet potatoes. These did way better, as you can see. A little bit right there. If you can see that. But not much at all. My tomatoes. Now, before we put this on here, some of the tomatoes are kind of nasty anyway. So, these marigolds got frosted a little bit. Again, this surprises me a little bit that these got it, but not the other ones. But this section over there, by that pile right there of the fence post, there was ice over there. Like chunks of ice in the plastic before I pulled it off. I was just simply shocked that there was chunks of ice. These are the cherry tomatoes. They were all covered, but they got a little bit of frost in the top. But not bad. Not all the way through. Didn't get the plants. Just a little bit on the top. It's like got a light frost on it. Again, it froze really hard in weird spots. But it just got a little bit on the top. And then underneath you can see it's just fine. My sunflowers, look, my sunflowers, they didn't completely die off. I'm so excited about that. Some more, I think these are cabbages right here. I can't remember if they're cabbages or broccoli, but they were just fine. Let's see what else I got here. This has got some more leeks in it, and my cilantro, it's just fine. So, I'm not picking anything today. I'm just going to let it breathe because it's been buried. I think this is the row that had basil, but I don't see any at the moment. Again, I'm just going to wait a day or two, and then I'll come take care of it. I'm just going to, because it's been under plastic for 3 days, so I'm just going to let it kind of figure out what it's doing. I think this chard's probably really upset. This is my yellow cherry tomato. It's the little pear one. I forgot to cover it, so it died. My fennel, not too bad. That's the one thing I tried desperately to cover. It wasn't happy about me covering it, but I got it covered. Some more of my marigolds. I didn't even bother to cover those tomatoes. They're done. And I'm just gonna, not today, the next time I come I'm gonna take all those posts out, get the stuff out, because in the middle where they are, I want to plant the crops that are overwintering, like my garlic and some of my herbs that need to go in there. And I just didn't do it before. This is where I have a few flowers that are left in here. See, there's a marigold. But this is kind of done. I need to dig those flowers up. Oh, look! Oh, wow, look at these. They're coming! I'm so excited! Wow! They like shot up in the last few days. How exciting! Oh, I have some more peas. I forget the peas are over here. They look great. I don't think the frost bothers them at all. And here's some carrots. I have those coming up. There's not many. I have a few, and that's okay. Some's better than none. My kale. My cauliflower. Let's see what else we got. Some more. Oh, these are collards. Some more Swiss chard. And then there's some more. That's where my sunflowers are at the beginning. And then my turnips and the squash. I didn't cover it. It was kind of dying anyway. But it looks actually like it survived under there. All right, one last thing to check. Because I have an okra over here. It's all by itself. And I wanted to check it to see how it did. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, I think the pillowcase didn't help that one much. I think it was just too cold. but that's the other one that I can hopefully save. But that's okay. My Swiss chard's good. Some more collards. Those are my bush beans. I didn't cover them. There weren't very many, and I just didn't bother. These are my asparagus beans. Actually, considering they froze, they don't look too bad. So I guess I'm not going to complain too much. But anyway, the grapes, we actually picked a bunch, but they look okay. I need to come pick them this week too. So this is probably what I'll end up doing, is picking a bunch of these. Because we picked them when I came here last time to make juice. So I can make jelly. I promised my son I'd make jelly. The other thing that I'm really hoping does really well later is the artichokes. Never grown them before, and they're taking forever, and I'm kind of wondering if I'm not going to get anything, because I only have like 3 weeks left, I think, to the end of the month, and then that's it, because I don't think they'll survive past that. Put this way, I'm going to be done with my garden at the end of October, so I'm really hoping that the artichokes do something, and my peppers and tomatoes. I was hoping my okra would, but I didn't. I only have a few okra that survived, so we'll see. But anyway, thanks for tagging along and keeping up with me in my garden this week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, folks.